adding humor to your academic speech can often result in a more interested and engaged audience. However, incorporating comedic elements into your speech is more complicated than simply adding a couple knock-knock jokes to every paragraph. Doing that would likely cause your audience to question your professionalism and the importance of your topic. This lesson will explain several best practices to keep in mind when integrating humor into your academic speeches. Most of your listeners will appreciate if you add humor into your speech for several reasons. Because people do not often joke when they are stressed, humor can project to your audience that you are confident and comfortable during your presentation. Your audience will be more receptive to hearing the ideas within your presentation if they are not preoccupied with the thought that you are uncomfortable in front of them. But what should you do if you are not a naturally funny person? Coming up with an original joke or making a wry observation are not the only ways to integrate humor into your presentation. In the next section, we'll cover how adding canned or pre-written jokes can improve your presentation. Canned jokes are jokes that you do not have to write yourself. Many of them were created long ago and are still told today because of how funny they are. If you do not have a lot of experience telling jokes, adding canned jokes to your presentation can be a safe alternative to coming up with original comedic material. Of course, you should not just pick any random joke and insert it into your speech. Your audience would be confused about how the jokes relate to the topic. In the next section, we will further explain the importance of choosing relevant jokes. Whether using canned or original jokes, relevancy is one of the most important considerations you should make when deciding what jokes to include. Besides being confusing, irrelevant jokes can irritate an audience by distracting them from your presentation's main topic. If you are presenting on the theme of student misunderstanding, you might tell the following relevant joke in order to illustrate the concept. A teacher asks a student, "What is the chemical formula for water?" A student responds, "HIJKLMNO." The teacher, very confused, asks, "What are you talking about?" In which a student responds, "But yesterday you said it was H2O." As important as relevancy is when considering what jokes to tell, even more important is selecting humor that is appropriate for your audience. In the next section, we will explain what factors can influence a joke's appropriateness. You should never use jokes that are rude or dirty in an academic presentation. Many rude or dirty jokes include curse words or describe sexually explicit content. Your audience would likely be offended by these kinds of off-color humor. Also, any jokes that ridicule ethnic or religious groups are not appropriate because of their insulting nature. If you are worried your joke may be inappropriate, it is often safest to simply leave it out. Additionally, consider such factors as the age of your audience and their cultural and geographical backgrounds when choosing what jokes to include. For example, you would not want to reference a local TV personality if you were giving a speech to people outside of your area. Our final section covers tips for presenting or delivering a joke. But before we dive in, it is important to remember that you do not need to become the next Jerry Seinfeld to gain the benefits of adding humor to your presentation. Remember, your audience wants you to be successful. As long as they understand your joke, there is a good chance that they will laugh. Tip number 1. Confidence. Try and deliver your joke with an air of confidence. That way, your audience will be focused more on what you are saying than on your presentation style. If you appear overly nervous, your audience can become distracted. Smiling and being enthusiastic about telling a joke are great ways to project confidence. Tip number 2. Practice. As the old saying goes, practice makes perfect. Jokes that are perceived as being told on the spot often receive a better audience reaction. Practicing your jokes will help them sound more impromptu. Family and friends are a great resource for those wanting to practice in front of a live audience. The more you practice your jokes, the less funny they will seem to you. But don't worry, Your audience will likely have never heard your jokes before. Now it's your turn to try out joke telling. This practice exercise should help you become more confident adding jokes to your next academic presentation. Please record yourself telling a joke and upload the video to the designated YouTube folder. Your joke does not need to be original or even that funny. Just give it your best shot.